participate. So that is the agenda that we will be carrying to the G20. With regard to Lesotho, obviously we're delighted that they desire to speak to me, and I'm hoping that we will be meeting soon. The holding of that election, particularly against the background or backdrop of the reforms that we had been working on as SADC and as led by South Africa as facilitator, and in this regard I honor former Deputy Chief Justice Dikgang Moseneke for the role that he played in the last mile to ensure that those reforms are buttoned down. So we are proud as South Africa that we've been able to play a role, small role, in bringing stability to Lesotho and enabling Lesotho to usher in a new era in their existence, so that Lesotho, as they've always desired as Basotho, should no longer be an agenda item at the SADC meetings. So we're very, very delighted with what has happened there. And we hope and trust that the progress that will now be made going forward will be durable and will be sustainable. And they will continue to have our support. We'll also, as you correctly say, be going to COP27. COP27 is going to grapple with the energy challenges, not only of the future, but even current energy challenges. And as you have said, South Africa is not the only country that is going through energy challenges. A number of other countries, particularly in the wake of, say, COVID-19, but we have our own challenges that emanate from the past, but also the challenges that have been given rise to by the conflict between Russia and the Ukraine. So Europe is going to face its own challenges as the winter comes in, and a number of other countries around the world are going to be going through the same blackouts, more or less, as we are having. We are working very hard on our own energy reforms, and we're working hard to lessen and finally eliminate the load shedding that South Africans have been subjected to. We're fully aware that this has brought a lot of hardship to the lives of our people, but at the same time has had a negative impact on our economy, and that is why we are hard at work to ensure that we address our energy challenges. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President, Your Excellency.
شكرا. نحن في هذه الظروف ومنذ سنتين، حوالي سنتين، أعدنا من جديد للحرب. الحرب بكل ما في الكلمة من معنى، نتيجة أن المملكة المغربية وبصمت ونتيجة لصمت للمجتمع الدولي المملكة المغربية نسفت وقف إطلاق النار الذي كان بين الجيشين
armies, the Sahrawi and the Moroccan army, under the supervision of the United Nations. Moroccan Kingdom on 13th November 2020 to destroy the agreement of the ceasefire and to occupy new territories that was liberated before. And since then, we are at war. There are victims, and unfortunately, and recently, the victims are not only from the military. There are also civilian casualties. Sahrawi people, Algerian people, Mauritanian people. They were attacked by the forces by the royal forces of Morocco. Despite that, and being forced to go to war again, the United Nations slowed down I wouldn't say it did not uphold its full responsibility in implementing its mandate in the settlement plan that went into effect in 6th of September 1991. I hope that the African Union and the United Nations, they fix the situation and the consciousness is awakened and help end the suffering of the Sahrawi people, because they prolonged it so long, especially the United Nations and the African Union as a partner of the United Nations in the settlement plan has responsibilities as well, and it has to enforce the respect of the Constitutive Act of the African Union, and especially the Article 4 that stipulate the respect of the borders that is inherited from colonization. This negligence and is what actually motivated the Moroccan regime to not respect the international law and continued to. But our struggle and our steadfastness and the positions of the people around the world, we will enforce on the international community to accelerate the decolonization of the last colony in the African continent. Thank you.
Thank you. Three more questions. You may please just stick to one question. That's it. That would be really helpful.
Hi, good afternoon, Presidents. Khalifa Kumara here from SABC News. I just want to get your input, Presidents. I mean, others compare the annexation of Western Sahara to what's currently happening in Ukraine with Russia, with the strong global condemnation. But when it comes to Western Sahara, you know, there's a bit of silence. As South Africans, to President, what can we do to make sure that we just galvanize more attention to this issue? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you so much. My name is Delvin Nichols from Newsroom Africa. Thank you, President. I'd like to find out from our President whether you're concerned about the apparent withdrawal of more African countries in the recognition of the Saharawi Arab Democratic Republic. And if I could put this question like this, we know that the gas pipeline envisioned through Morocco and the African Continental Free Trade Agreement is impacted by the dispute between Morocco and the people of Western Sahara. Do you foresee any solution to that? Most people have considered perhaps a Maghreb Union without Morocco. Do you think that the African Union should consider that? And then I'd like to find out. I'd like to find out lastly that the African Court for Human and People's Rights recently described the existence of the military in the Western Sahara as illegal. And I see that the chief of our SANDF is here for the Saharawi Arab Democratic Republic's president. Are you seeking military assistance from South Africa? Thank you.
Thank you. Last question. Thank you.
Yes. Good afternoon. Zoleka Kotashe from SABC News. I know Mr. Mangweng has spoke about seniority, but Zwai deployed us, so I think we are good. I just want to ask about Transnet and the common thread between myself and Sophie's question is around the economy. And we know that South Africa is on an economic recovery plan. But there are growing concerns and there have been growing calls from government, from civil society, for government to take a stand in this and to assist. We know UNTU has signed an agreement with Transnet. SATAW is still demanding a 2-digit increase. We just want to know the stance of government on this and whether there will be intervention from that side. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Yes, we are concerned about the silence that persists in the world about the struggle for self-determination of the people of Western Sahara. We find that other struggles are articulated at a higher decibel than the struggle of the people of Western Sahara. And that is why, as South Africa, we are clear, we are firm, and we are unapologetic in relation to our support for the Sahrawi people. And in our talks, we also raised the issue of mobilizing more support, because we benefited a great deal as South Africa from the mobilization of the international community for our struggle. And international mobilization was an important pillar of the various pillars of our struggle and was quite effective in combination with the other pillars in ensuring that we bring the nightmare of apartheid to an end. And similarly, we believe that in relation to Western Sahara, mobilization should be one of the key pillars, international mobilization, as well as continental mobilization, which leads me to the next question about the seeming withdrawal of the various African countries supporting the struggle of the people of Western Sahara. Yes, we are concerned, and it is for this reason that we will seek to heighten the mobilization for the support of the struggle for self-determination of the people of Western Sahara. It is a just struggle, it is a noble struggle, it is an honorable struggle, a people who want to determine their own destiny through self-determination, a people who ought to be supported. We were in those trenches as well, as we fought to determine our own destiny as South Africans when we waged a liberation struggle. And it is for this reason that we are unapologetic in supporting the Western Saharan struggle. In relation to military support, no, we did not discuss anything military. We give many forms of support to the struggle of the people of Western Sahara. So that was not part of our discussions. The chief of the Defense Force is here, as he is often here whenever we have state visits. As you know, when we have state visits and have a 21-gun salute, it is organized by the chief of the Defense Force. So he happens to be here for the overseeing of that whole ceremony. And as you see, it is soldiers who are present, who march and hoist the flag. That's why the Chief of the Defense Force is here. In relation to Transnet, we were pleased to hear that the union that represents some 53% of the workers, UNTU, has signed, as it was announced. And we're hoping that the negotiations with the other union, SATAW, will also be successful. We are concerned about the Transnet strike because Transnet is really the artery, the main artery of our economy, and the stoppage of